Greetings, everyone, again. We're here to discuss yet again the defections issue currently taking place in the politics over here in the United Kingdom, but more especially in Scotland. So we have seen Ash Reagan deflect over to the Alpha Party, and of course, Lisa Cameron is still in power, still from SNP to Conservatives. It's just miss flip flop after miss flip flop, and the misters are becoming flip flops as well. So, I just thought I'd discuss it more because Ash Reagan at the Alpha Party conference surprised everyone, quote unquote, that she's defected over, and that's obviously when it officially been announced and formally happened. But without a doubt, you could more or less see that this was done for the time of the conference. This was made to excite the conference, their tiny audience, long after, shortly after she failed her leadership contest for First Minister. So it's just doom and gloom, and I'm just awaiting. We're all just awaiting for the day that somebody local, some councillor, or somebody more closer to us here in West Rural Scotland have deflected, and we need to know our stance on this and the wrongs of it before it seems like inevitably it's going to happen here. Now, Ash Reagan's point of view, she's saying the reason why she deflected from SNP to Alba is because to her, she is still committed to her pledge as being voted on, purely because of independence. Absolutely no discussion of any other policies, just independence, 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 which is completely irrational, completely. And she came onto the stage, and the reason why I know this, I wasn't attending the conference, is this small tiny YouTube channel, Scotland Speaks, with Alex Salmond, kind of just like his run off of his Russian TV program. And yeah, sees her come on the stage, and she's like, "Yeah, just I'm glad to be here, conference." And so, and you could see it by the calmness of everybody, especially the face of Alex Salmond, and fact the whole episode, because these episodes are very high production value, I must say. So you watch these episodes and you can clearly see this was long in the works. This did not just happen when she deflected. This has been long in the works for her to come over to Alba, and obviously it gives Alba the first Scottish Member of Parliament without a single vote being granted for that to happen, which is shocking. And I don't care what any prediction poll or anything like that says, we can see independence is remaining about 40-45%, and the popularity of the SNP is going terribly, terribly down the drain. So without a doubt, there's going to be a mass amount of votes and people vote for the Alba Party instead of the SNP. So she's simply seeing this as a strategic move to essentially just keep her job on the single word of independence. But when it comes to her actually getting, reinstated for her position in power, what's she got to offer? She don't mention any policies. She don't mention anything that she's going to do for her local constituents or even for the nation. It's just independence and independence. And then on the flip side, we have an SNP, Lisa Cameron, deflecting to the Conservatives, like we discussed in the programme before. So just a complete flip of the coin, without the people having a vote or a say on this whatsoever. And it's just shameful, and it's becoming more of a comfortable thing to do. And forgive me, but I can't remember the gentleman's name, but somebody also, a guy, deflected from the SNP to Alba as well, around about the same time as Ash Reagan, but obviously his name has not got that much of a household familiarity. But yeah, it just keeps happening. And, when's the end is the question we've got to ask ourselves. And, it's only a matter of time it's going to happen locally. And when it does happen, we need to stand up and say, no, we want to be able to vote for this. Because like I've said before, even in a country where we're told that this is a party democracy. How can we have individuals changing what party they're in when they were voted on the ticket of another one? It's it's absolutely shameful, and it's becoming a norm in not only UK politics but especially Scottish politics. And it's just shameful, really, and especially when it's going to the Alba side. It's all in the name of independence, and that's it. Don't get me wrong, for they had a few things to say, about the differences in policies, but all they see is, I keep my job, I can see the future. SNP votes are going to go down, Alba votes are going to skyrocket relatively. So she's doing it to survive. She's doing it to keep her big 80 grand minimum salary in Parliament. Um, and that's it, because without a doubt, she would be the most delusioned or alienated figure in the SNP party, along with Lisa Cameron was as well, according to her accounts. So yeah, it's only a strategic move to keep her job, And fair enough, if it came to the general election, she's like, okay, I'm going to change over to Alba. That's that's the people's choice, and rightly that should be the case. But she's not. She simply decided on her own accord to keep her own job and to keep her own prosperity of becoming some sort of big name, some sort of leadership of some kind. The way she was talking at that conference is just like, you know, like this is all character building. This is all character development for her just to become some big name. And I tell you what, we are not going to stand for it. And we certainly here are not going to vote in the way of that if you ever become to be any big name or any big shot. But man, this is the same woman in almost every single interview or debate for the leadership contents of the SNP. She was asked about several subjects about what would you do in regards to this scenario and stuff like that, or stuff like, do you believe something is of your responsibility? And a lot of the time she would just stutter, she wouldn't say anything, and she'd quite frankly say, I don't know. So for someone who went for the leadership contest, and obviously it's clearly her aspiration to be some big name, she doesn't even know the full responsibility of what a first minister should be. It's how is this person should be allowed to be given our money to be in there, quote unquote, representing us, but then just changes party to keep her own ass on a seat. It's utter shameful, And it doesn't matter where your party politics are, even if you are pro independence, you should see that this is just a ruling class member of society simply just keeping her job. That's all it is. And yeah, it might be in the name of she believes in independence, but it should be more than that. And it should be given to the people. If she was someone who's advocating for so-called democracy and another referendum because that's what's democratic, but then will change party without a single vote being casted for that to happen, she is not a Democrat. It's shameful. These lot are flip-flops, not only in what they quote and believe on, but where they're going, where their aspirations are. It's just miss flip flop after miss flip flop, and all the misters are starting it. So that's just our wee comment on the developments, and I thought it was additionally good to add in the delegation, not delegation, the conference that she had at Alba the other day. But also the fact that that's her first mainly public appearance about this issue is completely biased. There's no impartiality. So her being interviewed on this is, it's right into the hands of the party she's going into. And, just getting all this praise from Alex Salmond. And of course she'll be given special treatment, without a doubt, for doing this move, for whatever was given to her to do this, I'm sure. Because she even mentioned, I was going to stay put. She was going to stay put in the SNP and just keep fighting for, more aims of independence or whatever else. But then she said, "Oh, I just decided to nip over because that's still to my mandate." She was without a doubt negotiated to. There was probably a halfway point, but most likely Alaba was probably reaching out to her, seeing how alienated she was, seeing that she was going to get voted out. So they offered her something, surely. Obviously I'm not accused of bribes or whatever, but without a doubt she's going to receive special treatment. She's going to get some sort of position within the party, or whenever the next election is, once there's more Alba members in the Scottish Parliament. And we'll just see this stuttering woman who does not know her responsibilities, and clearly does not, because she's just going from one half of the floor to the other, So it's just shameful. It's doom and gloom. And I'm saying this now, we will absolutely stand up and kick down our doors out to our local streets if this happens locally. Because we will not stand for it. Because we have many SNP members. And I'm sure this will not be the last that we see of this, of them moving to Alba. Maybe not until next year, like right before, election talk and official campaigns. But definitely. Or if we see any shock moves like that from Labour to Tory, or Tory to SNP, or whatever way, I mean, you never know now. I mean, we've had an SNP go to Conservative, we've had a Labour go to Conservative. It's, you don't know now. You could have a Green Party member go to Conservative. You never know. Or the other way around. So we'll just have to wait and see. But we're absolutely golden pled committed to taking some serious in-person action locally if this is inflicted on us in Helensburgh and Lomond. So thank you very much for staying in tune with the channel, and we'll definitely comment on this more as it develops, because like we say, we are sure to see this is not the last case of this in Scottish politics. So thank you very much.